What we doing?
Y'all know it takes a special track to do this. I'm on my P's and Q's, dripping sauce. It's just the fluid, it's the chef. I'm here to remind y'all I'm sick with it. My name is stuff that's hot, it's ubiquitous. Meaning it's one and the same, simple and plain. I'm all about my paper, the bacon, cheddar, and pain. I got these lanes running for the border. The talented Mr. Porter, keep it flowing like it's water. But here we go, there we go, creeping to a low speed. Is it him and his friend sitting in the nosebleeds? Play it cool, he ain't special just cause he's on TV. Everybody's hands up, acting like they know we.
Welcome to another episode of the Taste Music Hear Food podcast show. I am your host, Ed Porter, and this is the place where food, music, and culture collide and how it does. Today's guest is one of those generational talents that he's one of those guys that's everywhere, like everywhere. Like you look up, he just happens to be the guy that's there that knows everybody. And let's just jump right in. I'm gonna attempt to pay this gentleman the flowers he so graciously deserves with this intro right here. Today's guest is more than a saxophonist. He's a cultural bridge from Prince to Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson to Jill Scott. His horn has echoed across the world's biggest stages. He made history as the first musician signed to Jordan Brand and now stands as a mentor and executive, guiding the next generation through Keep It Moving music and SRG jazz. But beyond the accolades, he represents something deeper, how sound, culture, and identity can be woven into a story that moves people the way a perfect dish moves soul. It's my honor and pleasure to welcome to the Taste Music Hear Food podcast show, Mr. Mike Phillips.
Yo, what up, man? Yo, that intro was crazy. Send that to me, man.
I got you. We gonna listen. Whenever you walk on a field or stage or the jumbotron like you be on, that's one that you should have with you, man.
Step out here cooking.
Thank you so much for being here, bro. So, okay, we're gonna address the elephant in the room, all the shine behind you. You know, as a fellow sneakerhead, you know, you out here, you shining. I see you got all the
Let me get out the frame.
All the goods on the wall. And I typically don't ever get, oh, look, that's me on super amateur mode. I got it on. Yeah, how about I just cut this off? And I typically am never in a position to speak to somebody and see in real time someone who has more heat than I do. But you might be the guy. You might be the guy.
I heard you got some pieces though. Don't get it twisted.
You might be the guy.
I heard you out there.
And if there's one person that I'm not ashamed to take the L to, it would be you, because it should be you. You know, being assigned to Jordan Brand. Listen, we're not even gonna get to that right now. So let's first and foremost, let's take it back to, first off, you and I have a lot in common. One of the things we have in common is that we're both from Mount Vernon. I'm born in Mount Vernon as well. So, born in Mount Vernon as well. So let's take it back to Mount Vernon, to money earning. You described hearing jazz by day and hip hop by night. Right. And so your introduction into how you approach the things that you do musically kind of has that in the DNA of your sound. Would you say so? Would you say that's the case?
Yeah, because I had a radio and I'll go down to 89U, left side of the dial. I'm listening to Dexter Gordon, Charlie Parker, Ramsey Lewis, Sonny Stitt, Sonny Rollins. And then all I had to do was spin it 3 times, and all of a sudden I'm on the other side of the dial listening to Mr. Magic, you know, and Red Alert on Kiss FM.
Yeah, back in the
Marley
day.
Marl. So, like, literally, this one radio that I had was feeding me so much culture. It was absolutely amazing to want to transcribe a Dexter Gordon solo and then go up and listen to The Bridge Is Over for the first time ever.
Yeah.
When Mr. Magic used to say it's a world premiere. Like, that's what being in Mount Vernon in New York at that time, and me absorbing as much jazz as I was absorbing hip hop.
Yeah. So starting out, you didn't start out with the sax, right? You played a few things. You dibbled and dabbled.
I was all over the place, yo. Violin, then the flute, and then I did played bass. I played bass for a long time. Actually, one of the first um, kids in New York State to play bass in the orchestra and saxophone in the band. So I stuck with bass for a minute, and yeah, so I loved music so much that I needed to find out the different perspectives that came from playing with different instruments. So yeah, like I was,
What got you into music and that much of an astute student to like dig that deep? Like, what was what did your parents, are they musical, or
uh,
was it just something that you
no,
fell into?
no. My mother, one of the most musical things she would do, she would sing when she would cook,
Hmm.
and also she used to have parties. And I see 8-track tapes all over the place, and then records. At that time, them house parties wasn't no D nice. You throw in the 8-track, yo, you throw in the 8-track, and then when the player spit out the tape, somebody or the closest dude to the 8-track, hey Pookie, yo, turn that tape around and put it back in, and everybody will start dancing again.
For the kids out there, a little history lesson. So, an 8-track player, and you was play. So my aunt had an 8-track player in her Monte Carlo. So the 8-track player is programmed. So the size is A and B. So you had to flip the tape.
Like this, and put
Yes,
it.
turn it
It
over
was
and
like
flip.
a VCR tape for music,
Yeah,
basically.
but this imagine if you had a VCR tape, a VHS tape, you would have to flip it over to play the other side.
Yeah.
So if you was fancy, like I said, you had a auto flip, auto reverse, which is crazy. So that's what we talking about. That's yeah, 8-track.
And that's what we talk when we talk about when kids hear the B side.
Yes, that's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from. Like when you flip it over, and back in those days,
Hmm.
the B sides were good as the A side. So if we didn't have this single approach where you'd have uh, an album with 11 songs, and then we're just going to concentrate on two. No, when you flip that B side over, the cuts was going on. I mean, Parliament, Funkadelic, like the B sides were killing too. So being loving music back then allowed me to love the totality of the product that someone would put out, not
Hmm.
necessarily the song, but the whole
Yeah,
album, A and B side.
absolutely. And but that's also we're talking about a time where artists made albums with the intent for its complete totality. It wasn't about
Yeah,
the single.
yeah, you're right.
Well, and
You're
also
right.
it was an expensive thing to put out a single. So your album, you either had that single had to be so powerful to make people want to go buy that whole entire album, or
Yeah,
and that was the loss leader. That's the that was the loss leader for music back in the day. The
no,
single.
no doubt.
Um, every origin story has a little friction. So, what was there a moment of an instance of something happening where you thought about like, nah, you dabble with the thought of quitting and not fulfilling your, you know,
Well,
desire to be deep in the music like you are.
well, the origin story was flipped because I was big into sports. I was like baseball, football, basketball, played center field. Nothing would get past me. I was super, super fast. So I'll never forget. And Mount Vernon Little League, and
Mhm.
shout out to Garvin Austin. He's a actually played with me on my team, and he's one of the coaches for the San Francisco Giants now, right?
Dope.
So I did something and I didn't slide properly, or I hit an inside the park home run, and I'm running, and coach said always slide because he didn't really want um, us acting like Pete Rose,
Mhm.
knocking people over because it wasn't cool.
Right.
So I didn't slide. I'm celebrating the inside the park home run, and he still kicks me out the game and says, "Listen, if you're not going to do things the right way, then you don't need to play." He said, and then I said to him, in Mike Phillips fashion, "I don't even want to play baseball. One day I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be a famous musician."
That's it.
So me and Garvey to this day we crack up. He said, "Man, I never seen somebody just tell my pops off." He said, "I don't even want to do this. I'm gonna be a famous musician." I walked off. I walked home. I was like, "Forget all of y'all."
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, that friction is important,
Yeah.
and I tell you why it's even more important because now being in a situation where I leave sports because I'm passionate with music, and then I get roped right back
You're
into
right
it.
back. Yeah. It's full circle, right? Yeah.
You can't make this up, man. You
Yeah, it's
can't.
so crazy. Divine intervention. Like you thought you was getting away. Like nah, you probably walk on more baseball diamonds on the grounds of the inside of the park than you ever thought you would be, as not being a player.
Oh, crazy. So, I play at these teams and then I see a check. I'll open it up. Back in the day, it was like check from the Kansas City Royals. I'm like, cannot believe that I cussed out Mr. Alston and told him I was going to be like a famous musician one day and still get a check from a baseball team. That
That's crazy. That's
is
crazy.
crazy.
It's super, super surreal. You played, with legends, and we're gonna get deeper into that some more. But let's talk about what's the first gig that you played, or first time on stage where you felt like, okay, this is gonna be it. After, well, aside from your one in the show that you was gonna keep your word to make it as a famous musician. But what is that first gig that gave you like, okay, you know what, this is where I belong?
I think Wilson's in the city.
Okay.
Like I played Sunday night with Ron Grant. And Wilson was a spot that everybody came in. Like seriously,
Yeah.
Prince was up in there,
Hmm.
Terry Jam, like Jimmy Jam, Terry. I mean, if you were somebody, you were there on Sunday nights, and I started honing in my craft, and then watching these people get into what I was doing as a musician.
Mm,
I started feeling the power of me being connected passionately.
yeah.
Because listen, the instrument is just a inanimate object, right?
Right.
What you feel inside has to go through that horn or whatever instrument you play, and it's sort of like Rosetta Stone. It's the interpreter. So
Hmm.
whatever passion you have inside, that is the middle point between expressing what's in you and how sonically it's absorbed through what you hear and what you feel from an energy
Right.
standpoint. I started understanding the power of that
Yeah.
when I was young, 17 years old. I was in high school, was used to sneak down the Honeysuckles and Wilsons and all these other places. So by the time I got into the business, I understood how to hurl the power. Because sometimes, you go to school and they teach you a Eurocentric perspective of playing the notes,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't teach you what Thelonious Monk did.
Yeah. The soul.
Don't teach you how to feel something and let those things that you feel and you experience have a symbiotic connection with the notes. BB King.
Yeah.
Anybody can play notes,
Yeah.
but the most effective musicians are the people that have gone through something and know how to attach that something through their notes to tell a story. So I started understanding that at a young age. And I think when people would hear me and listen and say, I want him, they wasn't wanting something that was technically proficient. They
Right.
wanted something that they felt that they needed around them as far as just what I was hurling through the horn as far as my passion
Right.
goes.
Yeah. I liken that to a lot like being a chef. Like this everybody has access to the same ingredients. Like if I gave you, the same five ingredients, I had the same things. What I could do to it and what you could do to it is different. And a lot of it, even if we had the same basis of education, right? So we had the basics. We knew how to all the basics of cooking, the braising, the sauteing, and grilling, all those different things, and the knife skills. But it's the emotional connection with the items and then my expression and interpretation of manipulating them that makes all the difference. And so
Yeah.
it's this like again, there's there is and jazz is probably the best example of that too. So like I always use the terms for people that cooking is like jazz. And when I say that is that you have after you have the basic knowledge to lean on, now you have the freedom to express yourself within the confines of the knowledge, right? And so, and then you have baking, which is like polka. It's the same. It has to be exact. It's there's no the polka song. Every polka song you've ever heard is either a fast version or a slow version of the same song. So it's
Exactly.
it's exactly the same. There's no difference. Get fancy and call it bossa nova, but it's the same. It's the same damn thing. Um, that's dope. Okay, right about now, we're gonna play a little game I like to call this or that. This one is going to be a little different, as in it's going to be the Jordan brand edition.
I come on the show and you just start,
Oh well, we got to do it. We
man.
got to do it. We got to do it. All right. So how this is gonna work is I'm going to show you two different sneakers. One's going to be a classic OG, and the other one is going to be a rare collab. And you're going to pick between the two, one or the other. All right.
Let's go.
All right. So first we have Jordan 1 Breads, and then Jordan 1 Off White Chicago. Which one?
Sheesh. I'm gonna have to go with the breads because it's just the legacy
You
of
you have to
of
do it. You
it's
have
the
to.
legacy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
without that, nothing else exists. Exactly. Okay. Next up, we're gonna go to the threes now. So Jordan 3 White Cement or Jordan 3 Dornbecker.
Oh man, them Dornbecker joints was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, but
Oh,
again,
you gonna go with
but
the OG?
again, I'm OG guy because guess what? Like nobody was using that elephant print.
Nobody.
So when that hit,
Yeah.
we was like, what is this?
Yeah.
The streets literally, I don't even think Nike and Jordan understood, like, okay, well, we're gonna do this elephant print and how it hit the streets crazy.
Yeah. The impact, the cultural impact
Yeah,
is
yeah.
insane.
Cultural
Insane.
impact. Again, you know, this is almost like LeBron and MJ. And even
Mhm.
though LeBron has a great legacy, LeBron is MJ is the chain.
Mhm.
LeBron is a link inside of the chain. So when you talk about the OG of sneakers, there are some sneakers that wouldn't exist unless the
Oh,
foundation.
for sure. It
So
would,
yeah, I gotta go with the OG cements.
I'll just say this about the GOAT talk. You've never heard about anybody getting robbed for the LeBrons.
I heard somebody say that. Yo,
Ever.
yo, I
And
almost
that's
got
not a
jumped.
stab at LeBron. I love LeBron.
Man, listen, no, LeBron is my dude. Shout out to Rich Paul and
Yeah.
all the
The
homies.
whole
But
crew.
yeah,
Yeah, it hasn't
what's
happened. I know there were places in New York that you didn't go wearing your fresh Jordans because you knew that you was gonna have to come up out of them.
yeah, I'm gonna go even further. There are some places that if you had a pair of Jordans, some gazelles, and a triple fat goose, you just exponentially raise the percentages of you getting robbed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what your man from Nice and Smooth said, stick up kids is out the tax.
Facts. That's
Yo,
Greg Nice. All right.
Greg Nice, NICE.
All right. Jordan 4 Black Cat or Jordan 4 Eminem Encores. Now, I tell you what, if you got a pair of those Eminem Encores right now, if you got those in your lexicon, yeah, we got to talk about those. That's the one shoe that I haven't held in my hand. Like I've touched almost everything.
Yeah, well, I do have a pair of those. Um, they were sampled. I got a sample pair of them. Shout out to G Money for shooting them my way. And yeah, they're under lock and key. So we're gonna have to go new school Eminem all
You go to
day.
yeah. Those Eminem Encores is
Yeah.
some different. This is something different right there. Okay, next Jordan 5 Grape or Jordan 5 Tokyo T23.
We got to go with the grapes.
Yeah, the
Like
grapes.
I got a pair of grapes on. I'm looking at them right now somewhere. Yeah, like come here. I mean, I named my sneakers. Come here, grape. Like hold on. So funny you.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Listen,
Ah,
those
so
are
funny.
those are one of my favorite shoes.
All time, yeah. So I got
Period.
to go with the grapes.
Okay. All right. Next, Jordan 11 Concord or the Jordan 11 Space Jam. Now, first and foremost, the 11 is my favorite silhouette. If I'm gonna pick it, just sexy to look at, that 11 is something special. But anyway, the Concords or the Space Jams.
Okay, and before we even tell you what I'm going to go with, the fact that they kept on doing stuff like, okay, we're going to do the elephant print here. They always just did something that was way out of the box that just culture just latched onto it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm thinking Boys to Men when they all came out
Yep.
in the
All
Grammys.
yeah,
I can't shout out to Sean Stockman. I can't get that out of my head.
yeah. No, that was it's a cultural
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. It was a moment because we're supposed to be dressed up, looking good, and they were. But when you looked down and you saw those 11s hitting
Mm.
against the tuxedo,
Oh, that patent leather was crucial.
I
That patent leather was crucial. I'm like, I have to have those. Like, there's no we. I have to have those. And matter of fact, before then, we associated patent leather with church shoes. And so, so
oh yeah, yeah, with some penny
yeah,
loafers. So it totally changed everything.
they changed the lexicon of that, put patent leather somewhere else. It was okay. So you got to go with the Concords.
Yes,
I'm guessing. Okay,
absolutely.
for sure. All right, and then finally, Jordan 12 flu games or Jordan 12 OVOs.
Sheesh. I need to go on this rack again because y'all are playing with me. Hold on. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, here they go.
Yeah, I was looking at the flu games. I thought you was going to get the
Okay, but
OVOs.
no, but here we are. This is a one of one because they're not what you think they are. So I'm
Oh,
gonna do this right here. And
oh, we're
as you
not gonna do that.
see,
See, now you're just stunting. Say they see.
now look at that. That's that
I see.
saxophone.
I see it. Yeah.
Okay, no. These are golf shoes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I see.
These are the
Yeah.
only one of one flu game golf shoes that were ever made.
The Mike Philly edition.
Uh-huh.
Okay, listen. We're not gonna have you on my show stunting like that. We can't have it. I'm the shoe guy. Okay, I'm the shoe guy.
Chef, I'm saying though, Chef, you asked me to cook, right?
I did. I did. Okay. All right. So in your lexicon, right there, and what you got around you, what is your most coveted pair? That right now, if I tell you, okay, I got to take everything on that wall, and I'm sure there's walls, everything out there besides one pair. Which one pair? What one pair are you saving?
I'm glad you asked. So let's just start with the receipt.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, so if you look at the receipt, it says J.C. Penney,
mm-hmm. Which tells you
which tells you that this
how
was
long ago that was. Yeah, yeah.
pre-Foot Locker. Okay, so here we are.
Oh no, hell no. You got
No,
an
no, no,
original.
no, no. It gets worse because he signed them.
That's crazy.
No. He signed both pairs.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I would. Those would be sleeping in the hyperbaric chamber.
I'm about to put them back in.
Put them. Yeah,
So
yeah,
here, here you go. So this is, and I'll give you a view from this side with the box.
yeah. So here's they don't even make cardboard like that anymore.
No,
They
it
don't.
smelled.
That's crazy. That's so. The funny thing about that is, and my mother. So I had my original pen. Now it was worn. It was well worn. Don't get it twisted. But I would take I would take the Fantastic and the toothbrush to my joints, and so they looked as good as possible as they could look.
Uh-huh.
But she threw them joints out. I had to, and I don't. I always keep the boxes. She threw the shoes out with the box, the whole nine, and yeah, I could. I'm like, Ma, you know how much those shoes would be worth, even in the worst shape. It's
Yo, when I gave him the MJ,
yeah.
MJ was like, "Those ain't real." And then he started talking that MJ shit was like, "Where you?" And then it went from "those ain't real" to "where you get them from." And that's when I knew he knew that they was real. I said, "Black Cat, I need you to hit
I
both
need
of them."
got a John Hancock these back. Okay,
And
so let me ask you a question. When's the last time you put those on your feet?
it was a really, it was a major flex when um, Nike had their corporate sneaker ball.
See, I
So
just need to.
everybody like running around, Tinker Hatfield was there,
Hmm.
and Tink is my dude. He lives probably like 10 minutes from me. Um, yeah, everybody was walking around with their sneakers. Some designers were there, and when I walked in with signed
But you
one,
walked in with the sun. Okay, yeah, that's a heavy
it
flex.
it shut everybody down. So every time I see, I see this little sneakerheads out there. I see Fat Joe.
Yeah,
I see y'all. You can show me a pair
nobody. No,
of joints that from J.C. Penney where MJ signed it twice, and I got a picture of him signing it. Like
yeah, of
he's like,
course you
look,
do. Yeah, yeah,
so stop, stop. All I'm telling you is like, I mind my business, but don't poke the bear.
right.
If you really want to get in the trenches with this,
All right, MP, give me ballpark. What do you think those are worth? And I'm not to put you out there to put you on the list of people that got or the people that's looking for you because you got the holy grail. What do you think those are worth?
so how much is a glass of water to someone that ain't got no money? Uh, I- the market determines the value, and then what you put your product, the market that you put your product in front of. I,
True.
so so quick story. I do this thing where I hold one note and I do it for charity. So I call it auction in my lungs. So people can donate anywhere from $5,000 a minute to
Mm-hmm.
$25 a minute, and it all goes to charity, right?
Got you.
So so I'm holding the note, and it's like a 5 minute maximum. So there are some rooms that it was each table donated um, $3,000, and by the time I was finished with the room, we raised over $150,000 in 5 minutes. Then you go to the charity that they ain't really got nobody in the room, and I'm busy holding the note, almost died, and only raised $22.50. So it's about
Okay.
who you put them in front of.
All right. I got you. What's your number then? 125K.
Man, listen,
125K.
it depends who you know. Like,
No,
and and
what's your,
and,
no,
and,
what's your
and the,
number? If somebody came to you right now, look, and I know this is I
absolutely
know the answer is never.
no, absolutely not. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the legacy is more important to me than money. So
Absolutely. I,
they ain't leaving the family.
I heard. Yeah, that's there's only that I know of. There's only one and first off, the fact that you took them out the box, they were still intact. In their signed is another feat. So that which tells me that you're keeping them stashed properly. That's
Yeah,
that's another thing
I'm
because
about to
as we
move
know the
them. To
glue and everything
af-
come up off them shoes.
yeah, after this interview, they get moved to an offsite.
Yeah. So outside of the corporate Nike sneaker ball, have you worn them outside of that, or was that the
No,
one flex? Okay.
not you get
Okay.
one time.
There you go. You get one to you stood in one corner. No steps, no steps. No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We ain't even two stepping.
Yeah.
Whatever song you got on, just know that I ain't dancing.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Let's if Your saxophone tone was a flavor. What spice or ingredient would it be and why?
Man, that is one of the best questions I've ever heard. That's crazy. So let me literally close my eyes and kind of like stitch what I think my sound is to something that tastes similar. And what's so difficult about this question is that now I have to equate um, something sonic to
Mm,
something that has physical taste to it.
right.
So I got this new horn and, chocolate,
Mm,
cocoa.
yep.
I think the horn is that because it has a richness to it that
Mm,
didn't really exist in my other horns.
okay.
It's a richer, it's a deeper sound, and even when I'm hitting higher notes, it's still
Still rich.
fullness and richness of it. So, like if I were to say, definitely chocolate, cocoa,
Mm,
that type of, and it's still, just because it's dark
mm,
doesn't mean that it isn't sweet.
exactly.
So, yeah, chocolate.
That's a great one. That's a and the beauty of chocolate is, and most people don't understand is that chocolate has range, right? So like
Yes.
it has range, and there's full body. It can be the star or it can be the perfect teammate. Like chocolate has the ability to be everything under sun, moon, and stars, to either be the star of the dish or a perfect accompaniment to pull it all together fully. And
And
so,
it's so crazy you say that because when I played with Prince,
mhm,
I was in learning mode where now he's the star of the show and I'm background, but what I brought to the table was profound,
mm,
but I still knew my place of being inside of the total recipe where there wasn't an option
mm,
for to have the recipe being named after my dominance because it wasn't that type of party with Prince or anybody that I played with. And that was the beauty of it because I was learning about the other ingredients that they learned to be who they were while I was in the mix at the
right.
same time.
But
And
here's the beauty of that. So and you're right. But those Prince being one of them, and I remember the first time that I heard you, and this was with Jill Scott. They allowed you to be the star on their stage because of your greatness. They were like, you know what, Mr. Mike Phillips. And anytime Prince holds a microphone to your horn when it's already mic'd, like this needs let's turn this up louder. That's the greatest compliment as a musician that you can get from, you know, a virtuoso. So you had the ability to rise to the occasion, and at when you listen, when Jordan's taking free throws, it's become, you go from being a participant in the game to just being a spectator. And so at some point in time, you gotta witness greatness, and you've had the ability to do that on many stages with many
and,
greats.
and being right there where remember my first Super Bowl with Stevie, I got to the point where I looked back at YouTube and I was looking at the video and I wasn't even playing no parts. I was just staring at Stevie the whole time. Not couldn't believe that I was there. Everybody in the hood in Mount Vernon was like, "Yo, we see you on TV, but it looked like you was looking at the jumbotron and not playing." I was like,
Yeah,
"Absolutely."
I was there. So okay, you just hit on a great point. You are the only artist, only, to play with the big three, and that is Prince, Michael Jackson, and Stevie Wonder. That in itself is crazy. So the fact that that's the case, and that you are so grounded in, first off, all stylistically, those are three completely different sounds, right? And I just mentioned Jill Scott, so we're just
Yeah.
talking about that's you can't get more genre bending than that. So the fact that you one man could weave yourself into those situations and still have it still be Mike Phillips is an amazing thing. I think I always talk about this as far as so music and food has, you know, a lot of symbiotic relationships, and I like to use this one as well. So I think the hardest thing for, and you touched on this as well, for musicians, the hardest thing for a chef to do is after you do your 10,000 hours, you get the basics under your belt, and then is the hardest thing is to develop your sound, and so that no matter where you go, you have a style. So no
Yeah,
matter where I am, whatever I cook, I can cook any any type of cuisine. I still have stylistically through ways that get my point across, and you
yeah,
have that as well. That's the hardest thing for any artist to do is to have their own voice and to have that voice go into any room and still be able to be recognized by people who know. That to me is crazy. It's crazy. Speak to me about that.
yeah, yeah. Well, one thing I appreciate, like, is even coming on this podcast, right? I'm like getting schooled in real time of the relationship between food, music, and artistry that I never really
Mm,
I put into consideration of understanding how connected they are.
yeah.
So yeah, like I can you know the sax can be in the Waldorf Astoria, or I can play in the subway.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable
Yeah.
in that, and being able to shapeshift, move when you do it musically or with your art, you find yourself now networking with different people where, like, I'm in the room with some investment bankers, and they're talking, and I'm shifting because now I'm learning and understanding and moving into a room where it's a whole bunch of creatives, and then moving into another room where people are more have the acumen to really go after fighting for their rights and certain things that are happening politically, because some people, you know unfortunately, they can only be black when it's beneficial to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
So being able to move in these circles and be different, like, the only reason why I move like that is because music taught me that.
yeah.
Like, the music had, like, if I'm in the Waldorf Astoria and then I'm in the subway, and which did happen, by the way. Like, I would play, and then I was just jamming New York subway, and
Mm,
then go on Showtime at the Apollo. I was hustling, but it was in so many different modes and in so many different crowds that now when you bring it back to food and how you can cook for the president, um, being Barack Obama,
mm-hmm.
and you can go and chop it up at the homeless shelter.
Right.
And both people who are diametrically different in their experiences can still be woven together by taste and sound. That's, like, when you think about it,
No, no, that
yeah, but it's amazing, man.
it's why this exists. So I liken that to so our experience is pretty much the same. So again, I'm from the hood too, right? And so I worked in some of the best restaurants, most highfalutin, if you will, what people would say restaurants, and been all over the world with knives and knowledge, right? I would say that I'm chicken because I could be from the Chicken Hut on 125, or
Yeah, I remember checking out.
or I could be in a Linea, one of the best restaurants in the world. And the only difference is the hands that are preparing it, the skill level, and then perceived value depending on the room I'm in. But being able to communicate with everyone and in between. So that, being good on any Martin Luther and then anywhere in between is a
Any
skill set.
Martin Luther, any
And,
Martin
and
Luther.
and so no, I always say that, I am a linguistic champion. Like to be able to have the vernacular to be able to communicate with everyone is a skill set that unfortunately as a young black male we have to master. You have to in order to to get outside the confines of your environment, if you do not master this skill to be able to talk to anybody and everybody,
You raise the percentages of being limited.
absolutely.
Yeah, and let me say something. It was so crazy, right? I remember going back to my sister's house. She lived on 226 in White Plains Road.
Mhm.
I walk in, and my mother taught her how to cook. So my mother didn't do um, those things that made kids comfortable. Like, okay, well, since you don't want to cook, then I guess you won't, blah, blah, blah. No, my mother said, get your behind in that kitchen,
Mhm.
right? So teaching my sisters how to cook. Okay, so my mother's passed. And literally, when I walked into that room and smelled that food, it was like experiencing my mother all over again, and never knew how much tradition
Mm.
comes with making sure that you hold the earlier generation or later generation accountable for making sure that those recipes live on, because the food has now lasted longer than my mother's life, but I can still take part in the culinary legacy because of what was passed down. And like, let me tell you, when I walked into my sister's apartment and
Mm.
I smelled that food, like literally, and we as black men, we don't want to we don't want to be too associated with emotion, but literally, I'm gonna keep a buck with you. I almost started crying
Mhm.
because the way that I miss my mother and the fact that I was able to experience everything that she taught my sister Rosie how to cook, and it coming to fruition where it hits on those markers emotionally.
Mhm.
That's why music is the same way, where we have to make sure that the baton is handed to that next generation. And sometimes we get caught up in how fast we run and what's in the baton, but the most important thing about the baton, about the relay race, isn't how fast you run. It's actually whether the baton is exchanged clean.
Right.
Because you know how I go.
Mhm.
They hit that gun, you DQ. If you dropping the baton and you doing all that. So I think the exchange is so important to make sure that the music and the legacy that we listen to will always be intact, and from a culinary standpoint. So I just wanted to tell you that how important I understand, because I went through a whole thing where I literally stood in my sister's house and was ready to cry because my mother was still alive through her cooking.
Absolutely. No, the so all that we're doing, um, we are creative storytellers, right? So food, music, we're telling stories with the attachment of emotion if you do it properly. So it has they are the ability to transform or transport you into places of years that have gone by and people who are associated with those times. And so there is no greater reverence to be paid than to give somebody something for their nourishment that they ingest, right? And then to have those memories that are associated in your head and heart with the hands that used to prepare those items in the same manner, that is done in the same way, that has a profound effect on your
Absolutely.
emotions. And that you cannot, it's the same reason why when you go to open houses, they bake chocolate chip cookies. Everybody has a favorable memory with the smell of vanilla and chocolate. There's very few people that can associate that with something negative. And they're trying to place you somewhere emotionally in this home to make you feel like, oh, I feel at peace here. And taste, sounds, and
Yeah.
smell are the some of the greatest uh, factors to place you in a emotional state. Um,
Man, I was walked in there. I was like, Shaq, man up. Like I was like you over there crying. I was like, hold up,
nah, I ain't crying. I ain't
no.
crying. Let's talk really quick about your track, Deep Chocolate. You know, you dedicated that to your son, to celebrate, skin and identity and heritage.
Yes.
Um, what do you want people to feel from that when they hear it?
Um, it it's like Afro beats, right?
Mhm.
It feels cultural, but it's upbeat, so it's celebratory. So when you talk about the deep chocolate, um, when he came home and his voice was changing a little, but he was more inducing it than actually making it happen. He says, "Dad, my new nickname is the Deep Chocolate." I said, "What? The Deep Chocolate." I was like, "Well, why are you sounding like that?" Because that's my name. I said, "What's your name?" The Deep Chocolate. I said, "Okay, I get it, right." So now, knowing that within Portland, Oregon, and he's probably like one out of 25 kids with that skin color
Yeah.
and the environment of this country, to know that he walked back home and just was very proud of
Mm.
what he looked like, and him telling me that story, I wrote a song right on the spot about that moment. It's something that made me proud because, okay, I live in Portland, Oregon. So when people say, "Well, why do you have your son in white spaces?" Um, sometimes racism happens when you just continually put them in white spaces. Like for the person that says that, have you checked the census
Yeah.
of Portland, Oregon?
That's
And
also not
also,
that's not a reason. Also,
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But like, and then also, do you understand? Public school system ain't really popping like that.
Hmm.
And then number three, do you understand that I have a choice of putting him in the best case scenario educationally? Because this is what we're dealing with right now. DEI has been misconstrued as giving people that are unworthy. And this is what it is, and people need to understand it. DEI exists to give people who are better or evenly qualified a opportunity.
Mm.
It was never built for someone that wasn't qualified.
Right.
Never. So just the fact that that's misconstrued is troubling to me because, again, it's meant for people who are better, who are more educated, or even kill with you to get the opportunity because people haven't been getting opportunities.
Hmm.
So, like being proud, but still fighting, but understanding your culture and knowing that he's going to have to go in the workforce and be better so he can be discriminated against after he's better. And for me to even say that and know that it's coming is problematic.
Right. No, that's
So so him understanding that you still have to walk proud and because my art will last longer than I will be on this planet,
right.
and maybe his great grandsons can go back sonically and say, yo, this is a song that our great 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 grandfather wrote for little Mike because of the proud of being proud about being who he is. And see, those stories and that legacy sonically has to live. So when I wrote the Deep Chocolate,
Mhm.
it was watching me being so proud of watching him be proud of who he is. And that was such a beautiful thing to write about.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Since we both already determined that food and music both carry cultural memory, if you could revive one overlooked cultural tradition, either culinarily or musically, what would it be?
Oh man. Um I think in this new school of music, one of the most overlooked things I think that's very necessary is people playing and rehearsing together
Mm,
without it being for a show.
gotcha.
Just getting together and playing.
The jam session, the old
Yeah,
overlooked jam session.
yeah, and yeah, and it's not too, sometimes jam sessions exist because one person's trying to shit on the other, and then you're playing and you're doing this and you're doing that. But yo, just to get together because community
Hmm.
is exciting, it's educational, it's getting everybody together where I think America can even learn so much from just a regular band playing because if we're in a jam session and the trumpet player is playing, our job is to create a foundation for their story,
Mm,
not to talk when they're talking.
right.
I say everybody's talking at the same time right now. So, politically, ideology wise, or whatever's happened in this country, if we were to put it in a musical form, it's a jam session where everybody's playing the solo at the same time.
Mm,
So, like, how those things really, they really have like a foundation and necessary to making sure that we grow as people. So we're on the internet right now. So the person plays something on the internet and then another person plays something and then but they haven't felt the spirit of playing together because we're looking in the camera and playing. And then when we get together, we don't know how to play with each other. I hired one musician. I'm not going to say his name, but when we got in the rehearsal studio, I figured out what the problem was. You were killing on the internet,
hmm.
weren't understanding that when you're playing with somebody else, it's not about you and the camera that you're playing in for your followers anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So the bass player is just all over the place, and then the drummer is playing, and then bass and drums, y'all should be locked. It's about the groove. But
Hmm.
if I get y'all and y'all too busy out in these streets being internet stars, you don't know how to play together.
Hmm.
So the fact that we need to make sure that a part of the tradition is people growing up. I went down. I'm chilling with Ralph Roll down in the city, Artie Reynolds, and then Fred McFarlane, who passed away. He had a jam session, and then Ray Chew, after he finished playing for the Apollo, he'll come over to Sylvia's and we'll be jamming. I got so much information from the triple OGs of
Hmm.
just learning how to play and connecting with them through the art of doing something that it's more community based than selfishly showing everybody how you can play by yourself on the internet.
Right. There's a lot of through lines with sports, food, and music. And what you're just talking about right there is about being a great teammate, right? It's about being um, an ingredient in a great dish. It's about being the first or second or even the third chair in the symphony. And it's about the totality is greater than the sum of its parts. And
Yeah,
most people do not understand how to play your position, your time. You win and lose as a team.
yeah,
And I'm one of those guys. I'm a glory hog. I want the glory, right? So I just want to be on the winning team. So I don't have to take the shot. I, I'll get the rebound. Hell, I got 6 fouls. I'll whatever I got to do for us to win is what I'm willing to do. Everybody gets a damn ring, and that's
yeah.
at the end of the day, that's all I care about.
And
So
when the band plays the song right,
that's right.
that's a win.
Yes.
I never forget. And I'm hardcore because I come from Prince. Prince, we'd have 8-hour rehearsals, and he'd be like, "Take a break," and we're coming back and rehearsing three more. So I know what it is to be hardcore. One time, funny story. Guy comes in, and I wanted to play "Can't Hide Love," Earth, Wind, and Fire. So he comes in and he doesn't know the song. I said, "Is there a problem?" He was like, "Ah, man." I said, "Hold up." I said, "Band, take a break." I said, "What you're gonna do is that," I said, "since time is the only currency that we don't know what our balance is, You just wasted it. And your balance is going to be paying for everybody's lunch. So I
Mm.
told everybody to take a break and go out there, the subway, get some sandwiches and give this dude the receipt. Meanwhile, he works on what he need to. So he's playing, right? And um, I told him something that just came to me. It wasn't a quote that I heard anywhere else, but I said, the problem with you is that you're using your God given gift as a crutch for being unprepared.
Mm.
The gift is supposed to be the addition to your preparation.
Mm.
And now you out here trying to listen and play it back and you don't know the song and you're stressing out your gift for a reason that comes by way of you not being prepared.
Right.
So that's why you paying for lunch. And that's why we ain't leaving here till you play it right.
Yeah, man. That's a deep one. That's a deep one.
That's that yo, if we don't OG them,
Yeah, you don't know. You don't.
then if I don't OG you and you don't pass the test, then don't look at me for the baton.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it ain't coming your way.
Not at all, because we gonna fumble the exchange, and then that
Yeah.
dude's gonna hit the daggone gun, and we all disqualified.
Yes, yes.
I need to make sure that who's getting the baton, that the exchange is gonna be clean, so we can still run for the win.
Right. Right. All right. Food has a terroir, meaning it's tied to soil in a place. Do you believe music has terroir as well? So, like, is your sound rooted in Mount Vernon? Is it rooted in jazz, in black culture, or something completely way more broader?
Um, it's rooted in the the pain of the Negro spiritual.
Mm.
I mean, if you look at rock and roll and everybody that made money off of the music, what sounded good to them was pain that was turned into music that they found entertaining.
Mm.
So if you don't ever connect with the reason why the music exists, then you're not going to be able to display that same emotion. I'm telling you, musicians that haven't gone through anything cannot
Yeah.
express the things that people feel, because either it's going to be sonic where it sounds beautiful, or either it's going to be BB King and James Brown. Those, if you would take their lives and understood the pain that they went through, we are being um, we're sort of like being entertained in a strange way by pain.
Yeah.
That's what rhythm and blues is. Blues is pain. In America, it went two ways. Um, the same type of music was, oh man, God is gonna see us through, and be like the same sound of music had some different words, like, man, I don't even know what's going on. I'm about to get me this moonshine and call it's a rap. So the music, even though we go through these contemporary places, can you create the closest, the easiest way to get to one point to another is a straight line? Can
Gotcha.
you draw a straight line from the contemporary things that you do now back to the Negro spiritual through your understanding, your technique of how you play the blues, or what you do, and even what you walk around in? Like, do you know where Coltrane was born? Do
Mhm.
you know where he lived in Philly? Like, these things have to be embedded in you because that was embedded in the soil. So I can't call myself a contemporary saxophonist, or like if you want to call it contemporary jazz, and I don't know the legacy of Art Porter, Grover Washington, and George Howard.
Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
Najee Kirk Whalum came out of that. See that straight line. So you got to be able to draw it from here all the way back. So to your point, and to answer your question, yes, there has to be something that drives you um, to understand that you have to be planted on the soil that understands the pain and the struggle of the same thing that Louis Armstrong, Coltrane, Sonny Stitt, Sonny Rollins on that, Coleman, Farrell, Sanders, Sarah Vaughan.
Yeah.
This was pain. It ain't pretty. So to be effective, you gotta get into that.
Yeah, you got to lean into adversity. Um, First off, I could talk to you forever. Like we can have we this could be
We about to do a part two.
yeah, we're gonna do a part two. We definitely gotta do a part two because there's so many different things that we haven't touched on and really dove into, and just glazed over. But we definitely would do another one. Um, 'Cause we got to talk about so many different things. We're gonna go into this lightning round really quick because I want to get your take on a few things. So really quick, we'll go into this lightning round, and it's going to be rapid fire answers to questions that I give you. All right.
All right.
All right. There's no wrong answers, just quick ones.
Yeah. Uh-oh. This is the setup.
Late night snack on tour.
um, Teddy Grahams.
Okay. One record you wish you had written.
Naima.
Okay.
Coltrane.
Favorite golf course or hole in story. What's your favorite golf course or your hole in one story?
Hole in one, Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't know the course, but I hit the ball and, you know, I didn't see it and I was looking for it because I
It
just
was in
knew
a,
it didn't
it was in a damn
win.
hole.
Yeah, it took me 3 minutes. I'm trying to look for my ball and I was about to drop another one and I walked by the hole and saw it in there. It was like, yo, it's crazy.
Okay. Song you play when you need to hype yourself up.
Can't hide love, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That's a good one. Okay, and just not to put anybody else on blast. Who's your favorite golf partner?
Anyone I can beat and get some money from. Be messed up.
That's terrible. That's
Uh,
okay. You're not gonna hustle me. All right. So, all right. If you could lace up one pair of Jordans and play one song that defines your life, what kicks, what track, and why?
um, the kicks would be the ones that Jordan signed.
Hmm.
Um, and the song would be Frank Sinatra. I did it my way.
Mm. And why does it need to be explained? So,
Yeah, because why it brings you back to the song.
absolutely. Oh man. All right. So listen, really quick. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, what you got coming up next. Give them your socials, the whole nine.
Oh man, well, only one social. I don't check my MySpace no more. Black Planet been shut down
Man,
for a
shut
minute.
that. Hey, I was heavy on that Black Planet.
Oh nah, I was a don on that Black Planet, man. Stop playing with me. Like it wasn't even no DMs. I just put it out there like you need to so black um IG Mike underscore Phillips. That's basically it. Hit me
Yep.
up. I got a lot of things coming up. Arizona Jazz Festival, AZ Jazz coming up. Top of November, myself, Al Green, Charlie Wilson, like it's a gang of us performing there. Also, I'm on my sports run, so the I got the Rams game coming up, and then the Dodger game. God willing, they win their series, and then Monday Night Football, Atlanta versus the Bills. So like we hardcore in the sports. December 4th, the Detroit versus Dallas in Detroit. So like I'm a sports head, so I love that. Got a lot of shows coming up. So I mean, if you just get on my social, you'll definitely get a
And
schedule.
give me your website really quick so people know what it is.
This is Mike Phillips, www.thisismikephillips.com.
Awesome. Again, man, thank you for coming. We listen, we gonna do this again. This we have to. There's so much that we haven't even touched.
Man, yo, it's a lot we haven't touched, especially them Prince stories,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. We gonna get it. Listen, we gonna get it all in. I promise you that. But thank you again for coming, man. I appreciate you so much. Everybody, please lock in with my guy Mike Phillips, Mike_Phillips on IG, and check him out. All the great things that he got going on. You'll see him whether you want to or not at any of those sporting events that he just talked about. Again, this has been the Taste Music Hear Food podcast show. I am your host, Ed Porter. Till next time. Peace. That's dope, man.
MBC. No relation to NBC.